Page 332. Lesson 31. Reading. Abraham Lincoln, the President of the United States of America during the American Civil War, used to be a farmer, a storekeeper, a postmaster, a mill hand, and a lawyer. H.G. Wells, the author of brilliant scientific thrillers, used to be an uncertified teacher. Mao Zedong, China's principal revolutionary thinker, used to be a farmer. Angelo Roncalli, who became Pope John XXIII, used to be a soldier. Mark Twain, the famous humorist, used to be a printer. Mohandas Gandhi, the Indian nationalist and advocate of nonviolence, used to be a barrister in South Africa. Christopher Columbus, the discoverer of the New World, used to be a pirate. John Donne, the English poet of the 17th century, used to be an adventurer. Jefferson Davis, who opposed Lincoln in the American Civil War, used to be a planter. King Taksin, who united Siam into one kingdom, used to be a provincial governor. Page 333. Questions and answers. Used you to be an accountant? Yes, I used to be an accountant. Used you to be an accountant? No, I used not to be an accountant. Used you to be a novice in this monastery? Yes, I used to be a novice in this monastery. Used you to be a novice in this monastery? No, I used not to be a novice in this monastery. Used you to be one of the original colonists of Texas? Yes, I used to be one of the original colonists of Texas. Used you to be one of the original colonists of Texas? No, I used not to be one of the original colonists of Texas. Used you to be a crane operator? Yes, I used to be a crane operator. Used you to be a crane operator? No, I used not to be a crane operator. Used you to be a permanent guest of this hotel? Yes, I used to be a permanent guest of this hotel. Used you to be a permanent guest of this hotel? No, I used not to be a permanent guest of this hotel. Used chess to be your favorite indoor game? Yes, chess used to be my favorite indoor game. Used chess to be your favorite indoor game? No, chess used not to be my favorite indoor game. Used you to be a traffic policeman? Yes, I used to be a traffic policeman. Used you to be a traffic policeman? No, I used not to be a traffic policeman. Used you to be the biggest investor in this city? Yes, I used to be the biggest investor in this city. Used you to be the biggest investor in this city? No, I used not to be the biggest investor in this city. Used this huge edifice to be a modern hotel? Yes, this huge edifice used to be a modern hotel. Used this huge edifice to be a modern hotel? No, this huge edifice used not to be a modern hotel. Page 334. Used he to be the head of a despotic government? Yes, he used to be the head of a despotic government. Used he to be the head of a despotic government? No, he used not to be the head of a despotic government. Used Japan to be an aggressor? Yes, Japan used to be an aggressor. Used Japan to be an aggressor? No, Japan used not to be an aggressor. Used the library entrance to be at the other extremity? Yes, the library entrance used to be at the other extremity. Used the library entrance to be at the other extremity? No, the library entrance used not to be at the other extremity. Used the weather bureau to be on this road? Yes, the weather bureau used to be on this road. Used the weather bureau to be on this road? No, the weather bureau used not to be on this road. Used the assassination of the president to be a national calamity? Yes, the assassination of the president used to be a national calamity. Used the assassination of the president to be a national calamity? No, the assassination of the president used not to be a national calamity. Used she to be the minister's wife's crony? Yes, she used to be the minister's wife's crony. Used she to be the minister's wife's crony? No, she used not to be the minister's wife's crony. Used the rector to be a guest speaker of our club? Yes, the rector used to be a guest speaker of our club. Used the rector to be a guest speaker of our club? No, the rector used not to be a guest speaker of our club. Used your grandfather to be a fortune teller? Yes, my grandfather used to be a fortune teller. Used your grandfather to be a fortune teller? No, my grandfather used not to be a fortune teller. Used he to be a sea voyager when he was young? Yes, he used to be a sea voyager when he was young. Used he to be a sea voyager when he was young? No, he used not to be a sea voyager when he was young. Used your father to be a municipal employee? Yes, my father used to be a municipal employee. Used your father to be a municipal employee? No, my father used not to be a municipal employee. Used the duplicate of every key to be with the superintendent? Yes, the duplicate of every key used to be with the superintendent. Used the duplicate of every key to be with the superintendent? No, the duplicate of every key used not to be with the superintendent. Used our neighboring countries to be neutral countries? Yes, our neighboring countries used to be neutral countries. Used our neighboring countries to be neutral countries? No, our neighboring countries used not to be neutral countries. Used the water shortage to be the big problem in the Northeast? Yes, the water shortage used to be the big problem in the Northeast. Used the water shortage to be the big problem in the Northeast? No, the water shortage used not to be the big problem in the Northeast. Used her sunburn itches to be her disturbance? Yes, her sunburn itches used to be her disturbance. Used her sunburn itches to be her disturbance? No, her sunburn itches used not to be her disturbance. Used stamp collecting to be her hobby? Yes, stamp collecting used to be her hobby. Used stamp collecting to be her hobby? No, stamp collecting used not to be her hobby. Page 336. Used your elder sister to be a babysitter? Yes, my elder sister used to be a babysitter. Used your elder sister to be a babysitter? No, my elder sister used not to be a babysitter. Used the financial records to be with the treasurer? Yes, the financial records used to be with the treasurer. Used the financial records to be with the treasurer? No, the financial records used not to be with the treasurer. Used they to be affluent people? Yes, they used to be affluent people. Used they to be affluent people? No, they used not to be affluent people. Used the selling of textiles to be a lucrative business? Yes, the selling of textiles used to be a lucrative business. Used the selling of textiles to be a lucrative business? No, the selling of textiles used not to be a lucrative business. Used he to be the devotee of that false prophet? Yes, he used to be the devotee of that false prophet. Used he to be the devotee of that false prophet? No, he used not to be the devotee of that false prophet. Used her sister to be an amiable girl? Yes, her sister used to be an amiable girl. Used her sister to be an amiable girl? No, her sister used not to be an amiable girl. Used you to be ignorant of the fact? Yes, I used to be ignorant of the fact. Used you to be ignorant of the fact? No, I used not to be ignorant of the fact. Used his manuscript to be illegible? Yes, his manuscript used to be illegible. Used his manuscript to be illegible? No, his manuscript used not to be illegible. Used his attempts to be abortive? Yes, his attempts used to be abortive. Used his attempts to be abortive? No, his attempts used not to be abortive. Used his opportunities to be ample? Yes, his opportunities used to be ample. Used his opportunities to be ample? No, his opportunities used not to be ample. Used Japanese to be bellicose? Yes, Japanese used to be bellicose. Used Japanese to be bellicose? No, Japanese used not to be bellicose. Used his nature to be generous and charitable? Yes, his nature used to be generous and charitable. Used his nature to be generous and charitable? No, his nature used not to be generous and charitable. Used those soldiers to be jolly? Yes, those soldiers used to be jolly. Used those soldiers to be jolly? No, those soldiers used not to be jolly. Used his girlfriend to be very shrewd? Yes, his girlfriend used to be very shrewd. Used his girlfriend to be very shrewd. No, his girlfriend used not to be very shrewd. Used those monks to be celibate. Yes, those monks used to be celibate. Used those monks to be celibate. No, those monks used not to be celibate. Used that girl to be chaste. Yes, that girl used to be chaste. Used that girl to be chaste. No, that girl used not to be chaste. Used this palatial mansion to be the biggest building in this city. Yes, this palatial mansion used to be the biggest building in this city. Used this palatial mansion to be the biggest building in this city. No, this palatial mansion used not to be the biggest building in this city. Used his father to be circumspect. Yes, his father used to be circumspect. Page 338. Used his father to be circumspect. No, his father used not to be circumspect. Used his neighbors to be quarrelsome. Yes, his neighbors used to be quarrelsome. Used his neighbors to be quarrelsome. No, his neighbors used not to be quarrelsome. Used the lawyer to be familiar with all the evidence. Yes, the lawyer used to be familiar with all the evidence. Used the lawyer to be familiar with all the evidence. No, the lawyer used not to be familiar with all the evidence. Used she to be coy in her answers to his offer. Yes, she used to be coy in her answers to his offer. Used she to be coy in her answers to his offer. No, she used not to be coy in her answers to his offer. Used his family to be extremely poor. Yes, his family used to be extremely poor. Used his family to be extremely poor. No, his family used not to be extremely poor. Used the man to be lacking in personal desire. Yes, the man used to be lacking in personal desire. Used the man to be lacking in personal desire. No, the man used not to be lacking in personal desire. Used his mother to be pious. Yes, his mother used to be pious. Used his mother to be pious. No, his mother used not to be pious. Used he to be absent-minded. Yes, he used to be absent-minded. Used he to be absent-minded. No, he used not to be absent-minded. Used this lion to be ferocious. Yes, this lion used to be ferocious. Used this lion to be ferocious. No, this lion used not to be ferocious. Used the hypocrite to be present here. Yes, the hypocrite used to be present here. Used the hypocrite to be present here. No, the hypocrite used not to be present here. Used his proposal to be feasible. Yes, his proposal used to be feasible. Used his proposal to be feasible. No, his proposal used not to be feasible. Used her complexion to be ruddy. Yes, her complexion used to be ruddy. Used her complexion to be ruddy. No, her complexion used not to be ruddy. Used the advertising to be misleading. Yes, the advertising used to be misleading. Used the advertising to be misleading. No, the advertising used not to be misleading. Used the praise of the dictator to be fulsome. Yes, the praise of the dictator used to be fulsome. Used the praise of the dictator to be fulsome. No, the praise of the dictator used not to be fulsome. Used his work to be exhausting. Yes, his work used to be exhausting. Used his work to be exhausting. No, his work used not to be exhausting. Used he to be blunt and gruff with most people. Yes, he used to be blunt and gruff with most people. Used he to be blunt and gruff with most people. No, he used not to be blunt and gruff with most people. Used the dishes in the school cafeteria to be fragile. Yes, the dishes in the school cafeteria used to be fragile. Used the dishes in the school cafeteria to be fragile? No, the dishes in the school cafeteria used not to be fragile. Used his speech to be impromptu. Yes, his speech used to be impromptu. Used his speech to be impromptu. No, his speech used not to be impromptu. Page 340. Used his sister to be amicable. Yes, his sister used to be amicable. Used his sister to be amicable. No, his sister used not to be amicable.